So I got old Leaky, the water truck, in the shop. Leaky. It wouldn't even hold enough to leak. Anyway, whenever we had this in the shop, I put some just straight water in it. I know I had some antifreeze in it because it's leaking some green stuff, but I guess I could test it if I got a tester, but I'm thinking I'm gonna probably have to put some better antifreeze in it. And I just noticed over on this side, there's a doggy, a muddy doggy. She's been swimming in the pond today. Over on this side I found a leak, and I can't tell where it's coming from. It's somewhere off the bottom of that manifold. Luckily I don't think it's the water pump itself. It's probably just a gasket, but I've come to the conclusion this has got to be, and I've looked through books, I've talked to some people, this is a DV, as in diesel, V configuration, 550. It's not a 555, it's a 550. And maybe a 550B, I don't know. I can't find a data plate on it. But sat out here for 3 weeks and just fire dried up, didn't it, Roxy? She couldn't hear it, but she felt it. The rumble, she can feel the rumbles. Anyway, poor old dog, you're losing her hearing. You're not going to be on the camera today? You're being camera shy? Huh? You can't be camera shy. Remember what Uncle Jeffy said? You gotta have dogs on videos and stuff. Yeah, got to. And it's just the way it is. Anyway, there's my hydraulic pump. I just unloaded it out of the pickup. It's kind of a mess, but anyway, I got to find a drain plug on this, and I ran it just a little bit, but I don't think we really warmed it up. Person probably really needs to put all new. It does have a new bottom radiator hose and a new top one. Somebody was doing a little bit of work on this truck, but I also need to get a working temperature gauge in it. I don't have, and I'm not sure, I haven't got a switch for the, I did put a new solenoid on for the starter so I can hot wire it from in the cab, but I'm gonna put a starter button in it, and for now, that way if I need to move it or it needs to come in or out of the shop. There's the actual temp sensor. I just don't know if we're getting power to the dashboard or what the problem there might be, but anyway, I just need to get antifreeze up to snuff so it doesn't freeze this winter. A lot of good engines get runt that way. Valve on the radiator, of course, plugged up. There's a spare electric wire here. We can probably get her moving there, maybe. What the heck? I always wish manufacturers would put the coolant, that just ain't coming out at all. I wish they'd put the valves like a Kenworth where you can actually drain the coolant without spraying it all over the bottom of the truck. This is just stupid. The way these things are draining. Oh, that's just great. It's going right down into this. God, what a mess. It's always fun working on old junk. That should come out a lot faster than that, but it ain't doing it. I'd have to get a good old piece of baling wire. Oh, there we go. Now we got a stream. Kind of a weak one, but there we go. Now we can spray that wire. Okay. This truck needs, I never have done a bath or washed it yet. I need to. It needs cleaned. Tie rod ends look good on it. It's got brand new springs on the front axle. I mean, they still got the stickers on them, so this truck's been somewhat, I don't know. Like I say, the steering box is that's a pretty big problem. I thought it was maybe just the joint that goes into the steering box, but it's actually either the bearing is going bad on top of it or something ain't right. Anyway, we're gonna drain probably 10 gallons of coolant out here through that little bitty hole. That's gonna take a bit. Anyway, I'm gonna go wire up I think I'm gonna wire me up so to start it, I have to sort of cross this wire to the center one. That gives me and this engine doesn't need anything for ignition power. I mean, you don't even have to have what am I trying to say? You don't have to have the key on. It doesn't require electric to the fuel pump. It's all mechanical, so one wire to get the starter going. Now these other wires are for the fan and the cab and the light switch, I'm sure. Well, light switch should work without this, I would think. But I do think there's a relay that kicks in. I don't know. I may have to find a wiring diagram on it and try to figure that out, but I'd kind of like to try to find the original switch that goes with it, and I think that'd be the way to go. I haven't even cleaned the cab out, but you can see wall-to-wall carpet. Somebody put carpet. I mean, this is like house carpet. It's even got the carpet pad. It was white. What were they thinking? It's a water truck. We're gonna put white carpet in the water truck. Anyway, hey, whatever floats your boat. Anyway, I gotta get her cleaned up, but this says it's a 1754. We were looking at the wheelbase on it, and the wheelbase is not 206. I can't remember what it was, but this truck has actually been shortened and then lengthened. So yeah, I wish it could talk and tell me what it used to do, but I don't know. Anyway, I gotta get me a little starter button in here so we can start. I might put it here, hey, that fits. Okay. Well, it took me a minute to find my handy dandy Unibit, but that sucker's old. That thing's been around for a long time, drilled a lot of holes with it. Those are really, really handy. They're so handy you don't put them back in the box when you're done with them. Anyway, we need to make up a couple little wires here, and I think I can just use this one and put a couple ends on it. Well, I'm just going to use these little crimp ends. These are bare ones. But this crimping tool right here is I used to solder everything I did, but it's because I never had a good crimper. These are the ticket. And I probably should put some shrink wrap on there, but it's a water truck. Alright. So basically, I'm just going to screw the terminals onto this, and then I'll have wires coming out of my switch. I can mount the switch. And then, I don't know how much of this you can see. It's probably not a good camera angle. That's a better one. I hope y'all like the sound of running water. It's going to be going for a wee bit. Dad joke. Okay, get them hooked up there, and I'll probably have to kind of tape this one to that one switch wire, and I'm going to put them in there facing up so they don't touch the bottom of this dash. But it doesn't matter which one's hot and which one's not. It's a momentary push button switch. So basically it just needs to make contact from. Jeff Anderson brings up a pretty good point. When you bring in a piece of equipment in your shop, it's a good idea to unhook your battery, because you don't know what mice have been eating wires, or it ain't gonna stay in there, is it? All you need is all it takes is a piece of equipment coming in the shop with a problem you didn't know about and burn your shop down. So anyway, I need to buy me a battery disconnect probably for this truck, because it needs a little wiring done on it. Need a leaf blower. It's got a lot of leaves in it. You can see the wiring under the dash has all been jacked up. The throttle does work though, I did find out earlier. That kind of made me happy. It's like, wow, something works. It's always a bonus when you find something that works. This is not a very professional wiring job here. It's just enough to get starter button. So, like I say, there's no key switch. If I had a key switch, it would turn on the power to the accessories, whatever else is on here. But I don't have a key switch, so there you go. But yeah, I do need to. This door hinge is kind of messed up too. The top one's loose, so I might have to pull these off and take a look behind there. And I've got the door panel that goes in here. I don't know why they took them out. Windows actually work. Kinda. They kinda work. Anyway. See how full my bucket is. Well, we're not even half full. I guess I could test that antifreeze, see what it does. I can get some out of the bucket. See what we got there. We got a 0 protection. She's on the bottom. Anyway, it's green. That doesn't mean it's good. So, anyway, we'll probably get a freeze here before long. Usually a good idea to have things ready by the end of October, or middle probably. And it's the second. It's the second. This is what I put in the Kenworth, but that ain't what's in there now. This is, my goodness, is this even any good? Yeah, it says that's good down to -20. Yeah, we're good to -20. So not sure how many people use these testers anymore, but this antifreeze is what was in the Kenworth. It's probably only about 3 years old. I wasn't running anything special in it, just running green and distilled water, half and half, 50-50. And it might be slightly over 50-50 because I did add some, my shop's a mess. This box here I bought for my pickup, and I got it in the shop because I needed a room in my pickup. Anyway, it's one of those Montezuma, they're pretty cool boxes, but I've got to clean my shop up. That's probably what I need to do while I'm waiting on this water. I had it going a little bit faster, but we're still on the first bucket. It's gurgling out slowly. But it sprays across, it hits the cross member and then it scatters. That's just nice. Well, okay, I got about, took about 5 gallons to fill her up with antifreeze. May have a new leak. Sure in the heck. No, it's coming off this tank probably. Could be coming out the overflow. I don't know. No, not coming out the overflow. It's just coming out of this coolant line here. Guess I need to tighten that hose clamp on it. Anyway, I think it's good for a freeze now. Be okay. I was going to kind of show you the guys that owned it put this compressor on there to run the water valve, which is a pretty neat setup. This is some of the holes we got here. The thought has crossed my mind to just take a piece of plate and weld over these holes and just kind of go from there. I don't know that I want to try to cut the whole bottom out of this tank. I don't think it's worth it, but probably what I need to do is pull it off of the truck, and that wouldn't be real hard. There's only 6 bolts that holds it on there, and well, there is some air hoses and electric lines, but or wires. But yeah, it wouldn't be that big a deal probably to pull the bed, hook the backhoe on it, yank it off there. I need to see if I got a 6-inch gate valve somewhere. This one leaks. The way I know is I put the water hose in there and it leaks out the bottom faster than it leaks out that valve, but it does leak. So this is about a 3/16 thick steel tank. It's about the same stuff I've got in I've got an old oil tank out here that I was going to make a shed out of, and I never did. It would probably be a good candidate for repair parts and pieces. I don't know. This side isn't quite so bad. I mean, doesn't look so bad. This side here, there's a few holes, and I haven't really gotten into the, you know, what it's going to be like welding on it, but I think if it was upside down it'd be a lot easier to fix. I could probably take a hammer, knock some of the rust out, and then maybe wash it out, flush it out or something. I don't know. But this frame has actually been, I think it's right here, and they've got a piece over it. They bolted over the weld, which the weld looks decent on it. I don't think it's a problem. So could probably be used like it is. I don't think there's any issues there. But like I say, it ain't much good without a water tank or It needs to. Another thought I've had, and I'd really like to have a service truck, and it would be pretty cool to have a service truck. This one is not going to be a speed demon. Probably shouldn't even be driving it with that in the tire. Haven't driven it far. We drove around a little bit. Anyway, this engine is actually a direct injected engine. It's not like the 7.3 IDIs, which had to have glow plugs to start. This engine here, it was coolish out this morning and it fired right up. There's no glow plugs, there's no preheat. Actually, I did unhook the battery on it. I don't want to take any chances on it, but oops, we did figure out, Eric figured it out, that if you push on the throttle just a little bit when you crank it, it starts like that. Oil pressure's coming up. Anyway, that's it. Anyway, I'm gonna probably just pull it back out in the yard for now, and then we'll get back to it at some point. I got to get geared up for trailer brakes.